Today we're studying Genki, lesson 14 Kanji. You can find that on page 283, 284. The first kanji is the kanji for he, and it is read Kare or Kano. So notice that, for example, for he, Kare here, either boyfriend or he. Karera means they, but then if you add woman after this kanji, you get kanojo. So really, she is a variation of he. So she also girlfriend. The right side of this is the radical for go, and the left side is actually the radical for skin or hide. So this is sort of fitting. He goes out to hunt animals for their hides. And then here is the stroke order. So ichi, ni, san. This is weird here. Shi, go with a hook. Roku, shichi, hachi. So don't forget that little hook there. A lot of times we see things like this. It doesn't have a hook, but this one does have a hook. This kanji means age or replace or price. Mostly the focus here is on age. It's read dai for the onyomi, that's the Chinese reading, ka for the kunyomi, and you find it in things like this. Jidai, which means an age or an era. So for example, you might be familiar with the 250 years of isolations. That's called the Edo Jidai. You have denki dai for electric fee here. Judai, meaning people around in their teen years. You also have kawari ni, which means instead of. So the strategy for this one's quite easy. Left side is the person radical, and the right side is the short-handled dagger radical with a drop of blood right here. So assassinating the leader brings on a new era. And the stroke order is ichi, ni, san, shi with a hook, and go. So don't forget that hook. This kanji means to stay or to keep, and it's read ryu or just do. So we can see this in combinations like this. Ryugakusei, so this is actually from lesson 1. Ryugakusuru, to study abroad, or rusu, rusu desu, meaning to be absent from your house. Strategy for this one, a little bit tricky, but I think of this one as a pictograph of a face with this part right here as the mouth. So it's not very PC, but a foreign exchange student's face. So these are the eyes here. And then you have the mouth right there. And this is a stroke order. So it's ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. So this kanji actually means family or tribe, and we find it in words like kazoku. So this is the Zoku portion. So you have kazoku, for example, minzoku, which means race, suizoku kan, which literally means water, family, building, or aquarium. And then you have ozoku, a member of the royalty, where this sort of means king. The strategy for this one is left side is kata, person. The right side you see big here, and there's a hat on top of it. In fact, there are 2 hats. So perhaps represents a family of people with hats. You are going to possibly get this confused with ryoko no ryo. That one is a tricky one as well, but let's take a look at the stroke order here. So it's ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju, juichi. Pretty straightforward. This kanji means parent or intimacy. It's read oya for the Japanese reading, shin for the Chinese reading, Also shita for the kunyomi, the Japanese reading. In any case, we see it in combinations like this. Haha oya, meaning mother. Chichi oya, meaning father. Shinyu, where you have both of the onyomi for both of these kanji, shin and yu. Close or intimate, shitashi, you could also say shitashi tomodachi desu, that he or she is a close friend. Also then shinsetsu. This one is our next kanji here. This is a really easy one. So parents stand on trees to watch the children because the top portion is, of course, tatsu. This is tatsu, this is tree, and this is miru. And here's the stroke order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and judoku. Don't forget that little hook right there. Also, don't forget this one is longer than this one because it's a radical. This is the second half of shinsetsu. It's read, obviously, then setsu. It means to cut, and it is actually the verb kiru. So, of course, we saw shinsetsu in the previous slide, and then we have kiru here. There's also kippu, kite for postage stamp, and taisetsu, meaning important or precious. I think of this as a pictograph of a knife. So on the right-hand side, you have what looks like a butcher knife, cutting something into 7 pieces because you have the 7 on this side. Okay, so 7 plus knife, cutting. And the stroke order is ichi, ni, san, hook, shi. We already know this kanji. It was already introduced in a previous lesson, but with a different radical on it. It means English, and it is read A. This is the one I told you was a phonetic radical. So we see it in eigo, eikoku, meaning England, and eikaiwa, meaning English conversation. So the top radical here is the grass radical. That's called kusakamuri. And then you have big right here. And right along that, right on top of that, you have mouth. So I always think of this kanji as England as a place with lots of grass and people with big mouths. Not very PC, but I think you'll remember it that way. So the stroke order is like this. Ichi, ni, san. Okay, then you have shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi. This kanji means shop, and it is read either ten or mise. So mise is the kun yomi, and ten is the onyomi. So of course, mise by itself, it's read mise. 10 in, we've learned in from a previous lesson, kaisha in. And then you have things like baiten. So selling store is a stall, or a store that sells something is a stall. Also then, this is kind of interesting, shoten, which means bookstore. We know this as the kanji for kaku, but it means book. So literally a bookstore. This is really looks like a pictograph of a person standing at a counter with their arms out. So there's the person right there, and then they're in some sort of enclosure here. You can think of maybe this top part as, I don't know, chimney or something like that. And this is the stroke order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finally, we get to learn the kanji for kyonen. This is kyo. It's also read ko or sa. So, of course, here's kyonen. And then kako. Kako means the past. So sometimes you might hear me say in class kakoke. That means the past tense. Saru, to leave. Also shoukyo suru, to erase. This is fairly simple. It has doyobi on top, and then it has mu on the bottom. So I came up with, last year on a Saturday, I saw a movie. That's deliberately misspelled there to represent the mu sound. And here is the stroke order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is isogu. It means to hurry or emergency. Kyu is the onyomi, iso is the kunyomi. So you have isogu, but you also have kyuni, which means suddenly. Also, tokyu, you might be familiar with this. If you've been in Japan, it means express train. I don't have a strategy for this one, but I did find this one on the web. Here you can't quite see it, but that top portion is supposed to represent a hand reaching out to grab somebody ahead of them. Underneath that you have a heart, right? So here's the hand and the person being grabbed. And so that's why Q means hurry or urgent. The stroke order is ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, Q. This is the kanji for to ride. So of course it's read no plus du. Also the onyomi is jo. So this is the kunyomi, this is the onyomi. So you have noru. Norimono is a vehicle or something you ride in. Also then you have josha, literally riding in a car. And then you have something like joba, which is horseback riding. So I don't know if we know ba. We might know a horse already, I'm not sure. In any case, this one has a lot of strokes in it. I thought of this as a pictograph of train tracks with roads leading to it. So here are the train tracks right here. And here's some of the crossbars. And then you have some roads that lead to the train tracks. Not sure if that's helpful, or if you want to think of this as tree on the inside here with something in between. Not sure. If you come up with something, let me know. So the stroke order is ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu. This kanji means to hit a mark or to win, and the kunyomi is a, and the onyomi is to. And so we see this in hontoni. Hontoni means really, or bento for lunchbox, or the verb ataru, to win something. So this top radical actually is supposed to be chisai. It's a version of chisai. This is chisai like this. So you can see where that might be a radical of that. And then you have katakana yo. Okay, so I always think of yo, I hit the mark. Or I hit the small mark in this case. So the stroke order is ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku. This kanji means sound. And this is actually, the onyomi here is on. And when I say onyomi, this is actually the kanji I'm referring to. The kunyomi is oto or ne. So we find it in ongaku, as well as hatsuon, which means pronunciation. By itself, it's read the kunyomi, which is oto. And then you have honne. Honne is a real intention. The strategy for this one is that the radical above is tatsu, and below that you have the radical for sun. So standing on the sun, making lots of noise. And the stroke order is ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu. This is the second half of ongaku. The gaku portion means pleasure. It's read gaku or ga or daku. Those are all the onyomis, and this is the kunyomi, which is tano. So here are the combinations. You have ongaku. Of course, you have tanoshi. And then you have musical instrument, gaki, as well as daku, which means comfortable or easy. I think of this as a pictograph of a head. So this is the head with perhaps one hair on it. And then you have the body here, right? And then here where the ears are, you have these little strokes that basically indicate somebody listening to music. And here is the stroke order. This is rather small over here, but it's ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju, juichi, juni, jusan. This kanji means doctor or medicine, and it's read I. You find it in things like isha, meaning doctor, but also igaku, medical science or the study of medical science. Iin can mean clinic. I think of this one as, we have big in here, and that person has a hat. So we've seen this previously in Kazoku no Zoku. And the enclosure here then is the hospital. Okay, so here's the hospital. But also then the original meaning apparently was something about acupuncture needles in a box represented a doctor's tools. And here is the stroke order. So actually you're going to do that first stroke here. It's ichi, and then ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi. That's one stroke right there. That is kind of odd. We don't usually see that type of stroke order. The last kanji means person, and it's read sha. That's the onyomi. Mono is the kunyomi. And of course you see it in isha, gakusha, which means scholar, waka mono. In this case, mono is the reading for this, and we have wakai, so young person, meaning young people. The radicals in this one are pretty easy. Basically you have land, and then you have the sun. And if you think of what is between the land and the sun, people exist there. So I think of this as sort of like an in-between kind of mark. And this is the stroke order. Ichi, ni, san, then shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi. Now notice that this isn't that far off to the left-hand side over here. So be careful not to make this too off-centered. So a lot of people want to write this, something like this, where then they put the nichi way over here. But actually is quite centered if you look at it. So you have this, and there is your nichi.